If you own or manage an auto repair shop, I want to show you how you can use Facebook advertising to fill your bays and make more revenue for your business. Hi, my name is Justin Ozuna. If you give me 5 minutes, you'll learn the exact strategy I used to bring 31 leads to a local auto garage for less than $11 a day. With the right offer, framework, and strategy, you can do the exact same thing for your business. In fact, you might even double or triple the numbers in this case study. Either way, my goal is to help you by giving you enough information to help you improve what you're already doing to market your business. And the best part, this campaign didn't cost the garage a dime. The profit from just one job paid for the entire advertising campaign. I have to say that these results aren't typical. They typically requires a certain set of skills and knowledge that not everyone has to get these results. For example, I likely wouldn't be able to learn how to successfully rebuild a transmission from a YouTube video, but it would take lots of practice to get really good at it. And so these results aren't typical, but they're pretty standard if you follow this simple formula. So what I'm going to do is just simply show you what's possible with Facebook advertising, and then how how your auto garage can really benefit from some of the core principles I'm going to share with you. So let's get into exactly how we did this. The first thing I want to show you is how, if we follow the fundamental framework of any marketing campaign, Facebook can help any business owner. So to understand our success, you have to look at the three core tenets of any marketing campaign that have been around since the beginning of time. The first part of our success is really the ad. This is simply a way to get attention and create awareness for your product or service. Once you have that attention, you need to capture information. This can come in the form of a phone call, an email, a form submission, or any way to get your offer in front of your ideal customer or client. And once you've identified who your buyer is, you can then exchange the value of your goods and services for money. And so it's simple enough, but it's not so simple because technology and people kind of complicate things. So the problem for most people is not that they don't know where to advertise, it's that they don't know where to advertise and they don't know who to advertise to. It used to be that you could just place an ad in a newspaper or Yellow Pages and people would come to you, and that's just simply not how it works anymore. The power of search engines and social networks have really changed how people receive and search for information. And internet marketing has made advertising even more confusing. So instead of shotgunning your message to anyone and everyone like you used to, you need to be more precise, and you need to target only those who are most likely to engage or respond to your goods or services. Next, people to understand why they need to capture information or how to do it. Finally, if you figured out steps 1 and 2, then you might not know what to do with the information you receive or how to convert inquiries into a lifetime of sales. So I want to show you exactly the framework that we use to create a Facebook ad that gets attention, the opt-in funnel that we then use to capture information, and the follow-up strategy that we use to convert that information, information from leads into actual sales. But before we get there, I want to explain one of the most important and powerful marketing and business concepts that you absolutely, positively, 100% need to know. And that's the lifetime value of a single customer. So in other words, what is a single customer or client worth to you? This is important for 2 reasons. Number 1, you need to know how much a customer is worth to you before you determine how much you're willing to pay to acquire that customer. Number 2, you can better structure your product or service offerings to offer value at each stage of the customer journey, maximizing your profits. This will direct your focus towards relationship building as opposed to kind of these one-off transactions. So here's an example. The ads that we were running, the business I was helping was called a car shop, Complete Auto Repair, and what they did, we looked at kind of their current assets. Okay, so the first step of any value ladder is referred to as kind of the bait. This is typically a free or low cost service that will help you acquire a customer, kind of get people in the door. So in this example, I used an oil change. Offering the service, like at no cost is really a great way to get people in the door. Once they're in the door, then you have the opportunity to deliver value that can make you additional profits. So for example, when I was younger, every time I went to take my car into the garage, I always needed something else. Always needed a filter. Always needed, some other type of thing. It was never just an oil change. And so people obviously were looking at their value ladder in that situation. But number two, let's say somebody brings in their car for your irresistible oil change offer, and everything else looks great, but you offer them a discount on an AC performance service or some other related product. Maybe it's the middle of summer. You just ask them how their car's performing. Hey, my AC's not really blowing that cold. This and that. So you offer them the service. So during the service, you notice that the reason why they're losing cold air is because they have a leak in their hose. Well, to repair that hose, it's going to cost X amount of dollars. You're building trust, you're building rapport, and they come back, when their brakes are bad, and then they come back again when you advertise a tune-up special, or maybe they happen to have a car like later on down the road where they needed their transmission rebuilt or something like that. By that time, you've already had them in the door, you've brought them in as a repeat customer, and you've started to earn their trust. So suddenly that oil change that you offered initially as your bait to bring them in the door, that earned you a net profit of nearly, in this example, $1,600, which, by the way, is probably super conservative, right? So you have to ask yourself, would you pay $11 to acquire $1,600 worth of profits? Of course you would. If you add a zero to the end of those numbers, and you can see how quickly your business can change if you get people in the door, earn their trust, and then convert them into lifelong customers. So now that we understand the power of the value ladder, let's just really kind of discuss a strategy that we use to get people into the car shop store for this campaign. So before I get into that, it's important to point out that these strategies don't really fix broken businesses. Okay, so you have to have like a really you have to understand your business. You have to be making money. You have to be have kind of a system in place. So for the car shop, when we looked at putting together this campaign, the garage had many things going for them. So they were active and responsive on Facebook. They had 32 5-star reviews on their Facebook page. They really treat their customers well, and their customers are likely to come back as a result. After all, if you don't have people coming back into the door, there are no middle and back end profits. Your value ladder is broken, and there's not much your marketing or advertising is really going to do to fix that. And the last thing is, they offer great customer service, so they really cared about the people that they were delivering their services to. So with those fundamentals in place, we knew that all we needed to do is actually just get people in the door. So to do that, we simply needed to make an irresistible offer, and timely. It has to be timely offer to the marketplace. We wanted to maximize the front end profits so that cash flow didn't become a problem. This means having a follow-up sequence in place to ensure that these leads that we were bringing to the business convert into actual customers and get into the bait. We wanted to offer a quality experience to convert buyers into referrals. And then, once those three things are in place, and just, marketing additional services were appropriate so that, it doesn't mean taking advantage of people or selling them stuff that they don't need. It simply means helping them be proactive about the maintenance of their vehicle. So the first step in our campaign was really just to get attention. We wanted to get attention from the audience who's most likely to engage with this business. The first thing we did was select the town, the business we wanted to target. It's very basic, right? Then we selected the age range of the people that we wanted to advertise to. Then we started testing different audiences to deliver the ad to. For example, in this screenshot, we targeted people and households who are likely auto parts buyers and people in households who have recently bought auto parts and accessories. And I'll show you how we tested these audiences in a bit. And we had a couple of more audiences that we'll eventually talk about. So the bait that we used to get people to opt into the offer was an AC performance service. We advertised the offer like this. Hey, Wichita Falls, I'm John Langford, and I'm giving the first 25 people who respond to this ad an awesome deal to promote our new auto repair shop. We're giving away 25 vouchers for an AC performance service for only $60. It's 50% off. Get one of these 25 vouchers now by clicking this link. Okay, so once they click the link, it took them to a capture page that we'll discuss in a minute. But the goal was to really identify the people who were in the market for this service and capture their information so we can easily follow up with them. As a byproduct, we were also able to create awareness for the garage and easily start growing their online community with the like page button up here. And when they clicked on the ad, they were sent to this landing page. The purpose of this page is to reinforce the offer, explain what they get, and capture their information. So when they clicked on the button to claim their discount, right down here, a form pops up that asks for their name, phone number, and email. This makes it easy to follow up with them and get them on the schedule. So once they submitted the form, they're redirected to a thank you page. And this page shares the garage's hours, the location, the schedule. And for this campaign, we use Calendly, which is an appointment scheduling app, to let people schedule the day and time that they wanted to bring in their vehicle service. So it's kind of a hands-off way to get people scheduled. We sync this with the garage's calendar and set up notifications so that the business knew and could follow up with somebody when they scheduled their service. But that's not all. As soon as somebody opted into the offer, an appointed person at the business received the lead's contact information so that they could follow up with them immediately, give them a call and text them and email them or whatever. The lead received an email automatically with instructions about how to claim their voucher and other vital business information like the calendar or all that kind of stuff that they, if they wanted to schedule themselves. And lastly, the lead was automatically added to an email list that the business can then use for free to market future offers. So these are 3 critical touch points that ensure you're marketing effectively today, tomorrow, and a year from now if you're using that list effectively. So here are the results. This offer got 31 people to raise their hand and provide their contact information in exchange for the service. In 30 days, for less than $11 per day, we reached 14,544 people, had 51,140 ad views, and brought 335 people to the capture page that we can advertise to later, and kind of in a more advanced strategy. But we grew the garage's community by 7 people. 7 people liked their Facebook page. They had 8 comments from people who were kind of asking about additional services. Hey, do you do a tune-up, or can you do a brake job, or how much does this cost? So it's kind of not what we were advertising, but they still got business off of it. And they had 18 people share the offer with their personal networks, which is kind of also known as free advertising. So all of this was, we got all of this for $330.79 over the course of a month, and an acquisition cost of $10.67 per lead. But here's the best part. Just one customer who needed repairs on his vehicle, like the profit from that job alone was $376. That paid for the entire ad campaign. So the other 30 leads were just straight profit. And remember, these are just front-end profits too. Like some of the other cars might need additional work. If they're pleased, they're going to come back. They're going to be repeat customers. Some of these customers brought in their spouse's car. They're going to refer their friends and family. I mean, the middle and back end profits of a campaign like this, is really where all the money is made. So it can easily snowball into a 5 or 6 digit profit over the lifetime of these leads. That's the power of that kind of lifetime value of a customer that we talked about. Another thing I wanted to share with you is the significance of testing and optimization. You see, we can't just throw up an ad and expect it to be profitable. You really need to know what you're doing, or you could waste a lot of money. So, you should focus on building an online community of people who already know and trust your business, and here's why. So during this campaign, we tested 5 different audiences. We tested no targeting at all. People who recently were near auto parts stores, within a 1 mile of an auto parts store. People who matched auto parts behaviors, kind of what I talked about earlier. This was a warm audience, so these are people who already like the Car Shop's Facebook page. And then we used a similar audience of people who have similar demographics and characteristics and interests of the people who like the Facebook page. And so you can see the cost to acquire a lead were much, much different. And our warm audience, people who already knew and trusted this business, was actually the lowest at $7.93. So a few dollars might not seem like a big deal, but when you scale, it can quickly add up. So if we were to acquire 100 leads at these dollar amounts, that we would save more than $1,000 by targeting the right audience, right? So you can kind of see the difference here. That's hundreds of more dollars to put back into acquiring customers as opposed to kind of just throwing them away. So now you understand the power of what's possible with Facebook advertising. The only question you need to answer is how you could use it to change your business. If you could, use some help or want to learn how your business can start bringing in leads on demand like this, let me know. I can't help everyone, but if you're already spending money on other forms of advertising and simply want more, or you simply want to optimize what you're doing, I might be able to help you. So I hope you enjoyed this case study, and at the very least, it shows you what's possible when you have the right strategy, you're targeting the right audience, and you're making the right offer. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. You can learn more and reach out to me at metamediacreative.com if you need any help, have any questions, or just pretty much anything. Thank you so much.